Good evening, viewers. Today, Voices of Humanity brings you a very special edition. Today, we are going to talk about women in entrepreneurship. And as you know, a special edition requires a special guest. We have with us Ms. Manjula Somashekar, founder and principal architect of Pragathi Associates. It's a pleasure having you with us today, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. And first of all, let me thank everyone for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much.
We'll start with the first question, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Can you share with us the story behind starting your own architectural firm?
When I was doing architecture, I was sure that I don't want to work for anyone. That was the main inspiration for me. And I started my practice when I was in college itself. So that was the need of the hour basically. Not for any other reason, it was a financial crunch as well that I had to work, So that gave me a lead that yes, working, I have to be on my own, and I had seen the private firms, how they operate. So as a student itself, I had seen that, and that is how I wanted to do everything on my own, and I never ventured into working for someone. But to get the experience, because you cannot be knowing everything from college days, right? So you need to work and you have to have some experience. So I worked in private firms for 10 years as a senior architect, and parallelly from day one I have been practicing. That is why I have been able to come to this stage.
Okay, definitely this has turned out to be a very good decision for you. Second question, so what challenges did you face as a woman entrepreneur in this sort of a male dominant field of architecture?
Yeah, I never felt that it is I never looked at it as a male-dominated industry, first of all, because even when you're doing architecture, you only, very few number of girls are there, students, and there are many boys, And when you're doing your architecture, you got to be working with them through the nights also sometimes. So I don't think I any day had that hesitation that it is a male-dominated industry and I'm a woman. No, I always looked up myself as a equal to a man, So that's why I never, not really, I did not have any challenges as such, but only when it comes to collecting of payments, you got to be shrewd, which I am not a shrewd person,
Okay. So over the years, you have such a huge, vast experience of working in architecture. Can you tell us a particular memorable experience or incident that you have with a client or something, any particular memorable incident that has happened with you that I'd like to share with us today?
Yeah, so why I came to this stage, I can just give you one example. Why, initially when I started, I never had big dreams, they were all small dreams. I wanted to be very sincere in my profession. I wanted to do justice to my profession. But then at one point I thought that I had to become to this. That is because one of the clients, when I was designing a house, he was a big client and I was very small at that time, Not that my design was small, the design was a right kind of a design for whatever was his requirement. But at one point he mentioned that to do such a big project, I don't have to walk up to a small place of an architect. I had a small place, as an architect. I did not have a big place. So he said, why should I get into these small gullies to get my place designed, Then that irked me, how does it matter? I'm giving you what you want, but then whether I stay in a small place or a big place, it shouldn't matter. You just look at what is your requirement. You need a design building, which I'm giving it to you. That is where I decided that I have to have my own organization. I should have my own office. And that is and I'm really thankful to him that he made that statement. And that is why I am here today.
Right, so definitely the journey has been brilliant, right, from those small architecture office that you started to the day you are right now, to the position that you are at right now. The next thing I would like to ask you is, in what ways do you think being a woman has influenced your approach to architecture and business?
Yeah, when you get into the interiors, the minor detailing, lot of clients say that when it's a woman, she can understand better what the need of a person is, So probably that gives me an upper hand as a women architect, and Other than that, I don't think there is any difference between a male and a female as an architect. So that is only, it's a conception, I guess. People think that women can give them a better place.
Right. So have you noticed any trend in such a way that more and more girls over the years have started getting into architecture, and there has been an inclination towards them opting for this field? Has there been such a case from the time when you started to today's time?
Yeah, see, whenever, a girl joins an architecture, like the dreams are that, yeah, she has to become an architect, and lot of girls join architecture for the fancy of it. I do not know how they have known about architecture, but when they join, they think it's a very fancy field, but it has its own drawbacks or difficulties, because you got to be on site, as you said, you got to be with men, and there are so many other things of the business, but girl only see the starting. When they join the industry, they think that is only a beautiful picture of it, and once they join and they see the output, once you pass out, the remunerations are very bad in architecture, because it only grows with the experience. They start comparing themselves with the IT crowd, and then I don't know how they just managed to shift to IT industry, and that's the saddest part, because you should have passion for architecture. Only then you can become an architect. It's only an experience, If you have passion, yeah, architecture is a beautiful field. I enjoy doing architecture, probably that is why I'm still in this field. So I really advise all not only girls, even the boys, when they take up any course, there is nothing like this course is good or that course is good. You need to excel in any course you do, and you have to have perseverance to take it, because you might have failures. There's no success is without a failure. It's a first step to the success. So there will be failures. So you need to, accept those failures and look forward for a success. That is when you will come forward. Never give up, whatever comes. Just keep trying till you succeed, Every field, every branch will be a successful branch.
Definitely, I totally agree with you, and in fact I believe the viewers will also agree with you that failures are just a learning step for you. You just learn from them and you build on those things, and you...
Yeah, and don't repeat a mistake.
Correct.
Learn from your mistakes and never ever repeat your mistakes.
True. So I would like to ask you about a little bit about Pragathi Associates also. So what kind of projects are you currently working on? And what kind of projects are you going to take up in the future as well?
We do all kinds of projects, basically, right from residential, commercial, IT sector, entertainment, and hospital. Everything we do, There is nothing like we are branded with this kind of an architecture. So we do large scale projects as well as we do small scale projects. When I started my career, I was only a consultant. But then eventually I got into design build projects, because at one point I realized that whatever designs we give, they're not getting transformed into the structures that we are looking for. So we got into build also. So we have executed many interiors, to a tune of 20 lakh square feet would have delivered by now. And then I've done 350 plus projects, including everything. Then we do apartments as well. I worked for a lot of builders in Bangalore, the design projects I have done. And then I do these residences only for my kicks, they give, because I have that passion, and large buildings don't give you that. So I do smaller jobs only. And for me, the project is not small or big. Project is a project. Even someone gives me 20 by 40 site and they ask me to design, I would still love to do it, So I treat my job as, it's a project. It has nothing to do with the size of the project.
Right. So true. Another question that I would like to ask you is, if you had to give an advice to Miss Manjula Somashekar 10 years back, what is that one advice would you give her? If you had to give one advice, if today's time, if you have to give an advice to the woman 10 years back, what would you say? What would you tell her?
Yeah. Don't be very stubborn. Go with the flow. You need to know where to draw your line. Yeah, you might be very good technically, but then sometimes not every client is same, You need to balance between the client and the requirement and the finances and the site conditions. it could be very creative thing that you have done, but if it is not suiting to that location or that site or that client or with that budget, then you need to step back and then change yourself, mold yourself. You cannot be stubborn. That is what I have learned over the years, that you cannot be stubborn in any industry.
Definitely. I believe this is something that even today's entrepreneurs will take in stride and try to learn from it as well. Another question would be that, so today if you have to give an advice to women entrepreneurs who are starting their own businesses, what would you tell them? What would be that one thing that you tell them?
I mean, don't ever think that you're working with men. Just think that you're working for your profession. That would be the best thing that I can tell anyone. That is what keeps you going. Otherwise, lot of people, lot of women, they feel that, because I have my sister also who is in the film industry, who works with men. So that's what, you just forget that you're working with men,
Right. So we actually got to know this also, that you produced a few Kannada films also, I believe.
Yeah.
How has that been as an experience?
Yeah,
totally different from architecture. How's that been an experience?
Yeah, I started a company. When I started Pragathi Associates, I was alone, till 2003. Then my brother joined me. I had so many works that I couldn't handle it alone, Then I had to take care of my kids, my family and all that. So my family has been of a great support to me. Then he wanted, so I said, okay, join. That way both the brothers joined, then my husband has joined. So it's become more like a family business, So one of my brother is into editing movies, media and all that, So he has the craze of that. So that is how we ended up producing a few movies. And now we have become builders also. We are launching a project which is around 6 lakh square feet, 256 flats near Airport Road. So that would be one of the largest projects, on our own, that we are doing on 5 acres.
That is definitely impressive. Okay, I think that would be all. Thank you so much for coming with today and sparing your time and helping us out with this interview. I'm sure this talk show, this interview will inspire a lot of people who are watching this. This is Rahul Dhingra for Voices of Humanity.